You can know your commitments by your results, not by what you say. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this in your personal life, which I always do. Always talking about becoming more self-aware. That's what we do on this podcast. And then I'm going to talk about it from a leadership perspective, especially if you have those that you're leading around you. You say, well, I'm not much of a leader. I say, yes, you are. Are you a mom? Are you a dad? Do you have a partner, husband, wife? Then you're a leader. We lead in so many different ways, we don't even realize it. I guarantee you, if you have leadership tendencies, you're going to see that at the work that you're at, and people are going to lean on you. You can always practice leadership in every relationship that you have, because that's what, leadership is. It's being able to influence a relationship in a positive way. So you have a commitment, and I'm going to commit to this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make sure that this, and this gets done, and I'm going to be like a politician, and I'm going to tell my people constantly, and I'm going to tell myself that all of these things, because I'm in the mood and I have emotion, because get this, guys, your emotions usually come before your thoughts. Now you got to reverse that, where you can take the time to be self-aware enough to where when you're feeling an emotion, you can stop that emotion or start thinking about that emotion and say, why am I feeling this way? But here's what happens. We get this mob mentality. We get all caught up. We get all emotional. Then we start making these promises and commitments that never, and then people know, they realize this, maybe even subconsciously. And so they'll just listen to you, be nice because you're the boss. But at the end of the day, they know that you're like a politician. You just say stuff, but there's no results. So here's what I want to encourage you to do. Write down your commitments. Take the time to write down the commitments. What have you committed to? You should know these. Even if you just have them on a list, write down these commitments and make sure you get results, and then let the people know. Hey, we committed to this 3 months ago. Here's the results from it. Bad or good. That's why team meetings are so important, guys. I talk about coaching and team meetings over and over and over again. If you're coaching and you commit to do something with someone, hey, let's commit every Tuesday we're going to get together. You better follow through on that. That should be the first thing on your calendar. Coaching should always be the first thing on your calendar. Why? Because productivity can 10x whenever you have happy employees. As a leader, that's your number one thing, is coaching. Making sure they're doing the work, not that you're doing the work for them. You do not want to create a bunch of little followers that are emotional and just give in and can't handle anything, and they come to you and it feeds your ego and makes you feel like you're putting out fires all day long. But in actuality, you just have a bunch of yes people and people that can't make decisions, and they're just living off of you. And so they feel like they want to interrupt you and come into your office constantly, and you get irritated because they're doing it all the time, but you taught them that. That's your fault. If you have people coming to your office all the time, interrupting you, that's your fault. You're not coaching leaders, you're coaching people that are dependent off of you. And I guarantee you could probably see that in your relationships and everything else. I see that all the time. It's like, why do we have children? What are they for? What are we training them for? To be productive adults, to teach them, to allow them to learn, to give them the freedom to be able to do that, especially teenagers. So many parents are babying teenagers. Teenagers are coming into being an adult. Let them make mistakes. Give them the freedom. Don't put so many rules and regulations on them. Make sure you're super open and you're not judging, so you can have, realistic conversations about things that are going on in this crazy world now. It's totally different, but there's a lot of good that's going on. Have that open communication. I encourage you. How do you create open communication? By not judging. The minute that you begin to push back when somebody's sharing something with you and opening up, and you feel like you have to give your opinion, and the tone of voice is wrong, you've shut them off, especially a teenager. But this goes for your work too. And this is so good because you can practice this in your relationships at home. Leadership helps you in so many different formats. One thing I've been working on this year for 2023 is not to get involved in a lot of things. It's none of my business. One, and number two, it's not my battle to fight. I don't even need to have emotion towards it. If they ask me a question, if they need anything other than that, I'm neutral about it. I don't need to even get my thought process in that direction. I've got so many other things to worry about with myself, to work on myself, to be a better person spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, than to get involved in even the people that I love. The family junk that you're getting involved in having hour-long phone conversations on, who cares? None of that stuff matters. Do you remember the hour-long conversation you had 2 years ago with a family member? No. It's just a bad habit. And it turns into gossiping and saying ugly things and listening and learning about things that you don't even need to. It's a waste of time. You don't know where your time goes? That's a waste of time right there. Get away from all that. Be the person that say, hey, have you talked to this person about it? If somebody gives you gossip, best thing you can say is, hey, have you talked to this person about it? And then have some balls. Say, I don't want to hear it. I wouldn't want them coming and talking about you. Say this. I would not want them coming to me and talking about you the way you're talking to them. I don't want that. You can go talk to somebody else about that. If you have good things to say about a person, or we want to do something for their birthday, something that's meaningful, that enhances the relationship, I'm all in. That's all leadership is. Having meaningful relationships and enhancing them, right? They're going to appreciate you in the long run. I guarantee it. And it's going to eliminate a lot of toxicity in your life and time wasting. And those people will go away. Guaranteed. You know your commitments by your results, not in what you say. So I encourage each of you, find the commitments. What have you committed to? Find the things that you've committed to in others and have a conversation with them. Say, hey, I've been really busy with this and this. I'm committed to this. I just want you to know that. I want us to take some time and talk about it. Can we have 10, 15 minutes to talk about this? Today, tomorrow, whenever. Schedule a time. I still want you to know this is with, maybe it's with your wife, husband, partner, whatever it may be. Sit them down and say, hey, I'm still committed to this. I know last month we talked about this, and here's where I'm at on it. And I just want you to know, here's the results, and here's where we're at. It's that simple, guys. It's communication. It's making sure you're committing, because you're going to have respect, and they're going to value you in the things that you say. They're going to, when they see that you're committed to them, you're committed to the relationship, who doesn't want that? That's not around now. It's so easy to put yourself in the top 1% of the world nowadays, because 99.9% of other people are just happy dodging everything and barely existing and just, living off of Netflix, weed, and junk food. So I encourage you guys, follow up on your commitments, get clarity on them. Write them down. Don't say something that you're not going to follow up through. Just keep your mouth shut. Don't let the emotion go before the thought.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.